Hello all and welcome back to Cardac Radio for Teens. In case you weren't here last time, I'm Bia, and just a little summary about myself. I live with my mom, my dad, my brother William, who's 9, and my dog Joey. And the most important part is that I'm a teen, just like all of you. I'm only 16 years old, so I can relate to what you guys think of instead of you talking to your family or to your guidance counselors or to your teachers. I'm a teen just like all of you, so hopefully that makes it easy for us to relate to each other and to understand what we're saying. Just a little recap of the last time, since there wasn't an official topic, we just read a couple messages and discussed the meaning of those. Also, we started the gratitude challenge, which if you weren't here last time, you get a little book, a little notebook, and you try for 50 days to write something that you're thankful for each day. Hopefully you can try and make it something different and not repetitive, always the same. But one tip that I gave was that at the end of the day, you can just sit down and reflect on what happened throughout the day and write something you're grateful for that happened that day. Because there's always something to be grateful for in the day. If you forgot about it, or if you missed a couple days, that's fine. Just start over. Just keep trying to get your 50 days in until a part where it's just like a habit, where you just do it automatically without thinking about it. This week's topic is community service, what it means to be in a community and what it means to help. I'd like to start off with a little small message about the title of it is Giving from the book The Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone. Giving. In charity there is no excess. Sir Francis Bacon. As the saying goes, give until it hurts. But true, selfless giving of ourselves as well as our possessions never should hurt. The more we freely and willingly give to others, the more we give to ourselves. I will offer myself in some way that is helpful to others without resenting the time or effort it takes. This message is very important because it's showing us that not only should we help people and should we do good things towards our neighbors, but we should also do it in a way that we aren't just bored, oh, I just have to do this, but in a way that we're thankful that we were given the time to help others, not that it was just mandatory. But before we jump into community service and all that, first we should define what a community is. A community is a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Another definition to community is a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. So if we're all here trying to learn and we're all trying to do the best that we can, then we have a common interest and a common goal. So we are a community, all of us, no matter where we live. Your community is everyone around the world, not just your neighborhood or the people at your school, but everyone around this world is part of the community because we share some type of common goal with them. Now that we know what a community is, let's define community service. Community service is the voluntary work intended to help people in a particular area. It's funny because in this definition they also include that when the law gives out community service, it's usually for people in prison. When they need to do time, they are sentenced to hours of community service. But why should these prisoners, have to do community service? The answer to this is because community service helps not only your neighbor, whoever you're helping, but it also helps yourself to learn messages and learn how to be grateful for what you have and that you can help people. But we don't have to be prisoners to do community service. I know for most of us, I know for me at least, at my school to graduate, you need to have a certain hour of community service. For my school, you need 60 hours of community service to graduate. And if you get 300 hours, you get a special award at your graduation. So why do schools make us do community service? We're not prisoners. We didn't do anything like that. So why should we do community service? Well, the answer to that is the same as why the prisoners do community service. It's so that we can learn and to have experiences before we go out into the real world when we go to college and have jobs. Before that, we get to learn more about other people and about ourselves. And that's why, even though it may seem boring or you don't want to learn it or you're just forced to do it, you could really get a good message out of it. Even if you don't have to do community service as a requirement in your school, it's something that you should definitely do because it helps you develop life skills that you can't develop anywhere else. You may think community service is boring and nothing good will come out of it, which sometimes it is boring. Sometimes you end up doing a community service job that you really didn't like. But even those that you don't like, they all serve to help you decide what you do like and help you for your future. Community service doesn't have to be dreadful. You just need to find something that you like to do and then do it. Say, for example, that you really like animals and that you want to be a vet. So if you go and you work at a dog kennel, maybe you realize that, oh, well, I'm allergic to dogs. So maybe that job isn't going to work out for you too well. And maybe the community service was bad because you had allergies all the time. But at least you found out that you didn't want to be a vet before you actually went to school and college for it, and before you went through all that trouble, when you could have just found out really early that that wouldn't work out for you. It doesn't have to be awful to do. You just have to find what you like and turn that into a community service job. On this website called teenlife.com, there was a huge list of stuff that you could do as a teen to help your community. To help you guys get an idea of some types of jobs, I'm going to read some of these off this list so you can see what types of community service jobs are out there. You could donate old clothes or house goods. You can answer a letter to Santa from a needy child. And what that means, if you guys have never heard of it, because I have it in my town too, there's like a list. Usually it's like a tree of children who their parents or their families, they don't have money to give them presents. So you can get their list of what they want, and you can give it to them so that they can have a great Christmas too. Also, you could help and send care packs to people who've just suffered from like earthquakes and hurricanes or deployed troops or anyone. In my teen action group of my community, we just put together care packs to send to the victims of the earthquakes in Ecuador. And even though we're not that big of a group and we can't help everyone, every little bit counts. So every little bit of stuff that we gave is stuff that they didn't have that they really needed. And we could help a million lives just like that. Also, you could do simple things like shovel or rake the leaves for like your neighbors who are elderly or disabled and can't do it themselves. You can also do community service that shows off your talents that maybe other people don't have. Say, if you're good at computers, maybe you can help other people who aren't good at computers to understand it. And maybe if you're really smart in one subject, you should go and tutor other kids in your grade or even younger kids. Also, if computers or books aren't your thing, maybe if you have a favorite sport that you play, you could help and coach a younger team. There are also ways to volunteer that are just 1 or 2 days here and there, such as you can volunteer at a run or walk event, such as Race for the Cure or Relay for Life. You can participate in a cleanup of the beach. You can help plant trees for Arbor Day, or you can dance at a dance marathon. Anything that your community offers. And I know every community offers lots of stuff and opportunities for you to volunteer at. One of my suggestions is to check on your school website or your town website and see, because usually they have a list of community service opportunities. Even if it's as simple as helping at the concession stand of a basketball game, every little bit counts and it'll get you those hours that you need to graduate. Even if you can only volunteer an hour a week, at least it's a little bit you're doing every day or every week that will add up to so much and it'll teach you so many good lessons. These lessons that we learn while doing community service projects are one of the many benefits of doing volunteer work. You'd be surprised to find out how many personal benefits there are to volunteering. Some of them are, it exposes you to diversity and multiculturalism. It also provides an opportunity to apply academic learnings to real human needs. It also helps you build relationships and social connections with your peers and other adults. And it also helps you to improve your communication skills and critical thinking skills that you're definitely going to need when you have a job and your own family. At our age, one of the main things we always think about is college. And you'd be surprised that community service really helps your college application and how colleges look at you. When they see all that you've done and all that you've worked with and volunteered your time, they'll be truly impressed, and it'll set you apart from the other people who are also applying at the same time as you. When colleges see all that you've done, they realize how well-rounded you are as a student, and it sets you apart from everyone else and gets you a better chance of being able to get into that college. Not only does it help you to get into the college, but it also helps you to write a good college essay for them to read. Volunteering gives you a lot of different topics that you could write about, whether it was that time you helped your neighbor or the time you volunteered at Relay for Life. Any little thing that you can do, it gives you more a wider range of stuff you can write about for your college essay and make it really unique and personalized, so that increases your chances of getting accepted into that college even more. Many of us are really stressed about getting into college and what are they going to think of us and if we're going to be accepted. But by doing community service, it could really help our chances of getting into the college we want. Doing volunteer work also has many career benefits. Just like we were talking about before with wanting to be a vet and then finding out you're allergic, stuff like that can really help you when you do community service. Maybe if you want to be a teacher, you go and you help tutor kids and you realize that you're not really good at explaining it to other people. Maybe you understand it really well, but you can't really explain it to other people. That doesn't mean that you should just stop your dreams and not be a teacher, but maybe you should realize that you need more help in your communication, and you can search to become better in that, and you know before you become a teacher, before you're in college. It also works the opposite way around. Maybe if you thought you didn't like doing something, maybe once you volunteer doing it, you realize that that's really what you love to do, and maybe you love that more than what you thought you wanted to do. Or maybe if you're undecided on what you want to do, maybe it helps you decide what you want to do with your life, for your career. Doing community service is a great way to help you find out what type of career you want to go into and what type of major you want to go into for college. Volunteering can also help open up many job opportunities for you. Say you go to the kennel because you want to be a vet and you actually do really love it. Maybe the people there, they'll help you get a job because they're connected to the other vets, and they'll help you get an internship, and then maybe it'll turn into a real job for you. It can also help open up many connections for you, whether you're talking to someone and turns out they do exactly what you want to do and they can help you get into that field, or if they know someone who can help you get into that field. Doing community service lets you meet a lot of people and lets you search for jobs and lets them help you and find communications to find those jobs that you want. There are many ways to make community service that you find boring to make it fun. One, you can bring your friends along with you. Say if you're going to go do a community service project, it's always fun to have your friends with you as long as you're all working on it. So if you all are dedicated and working on it, you should bring them and have more fun while you're doing that. Some community service may not be the best thing ever, but you just have to make a good time of it. Find something enjoyable of it and stick with that. I'd like to read another message from the book of Daily Positive Quotes. And this one is titled, Making Others Happy. Happiness is a perfume you cannot pour on others without getting a few drops on yourself. Ralph Waldo Emerson. There is a reason we do volunteer work. Bring flowers to a friend in the hospital or buy a special gift for someone we love when we're out shopping. It makes us happy. Sometimes, in fact, being kind and considerate to others actually benefits us more than the people we're helping. Even if our activity starts out as a chore or an obligation, rather than something from the heart, it can become a joy for us, as well as those who benefit from our efforts. Is there something I can do to delight another person today? It doesn't have to be big or spectacular. A simple message expresses how much I appreciate someone's friendship can be very powerful. This message sums on to what we were saying about this whole time, about how doing community service, you can find a lot of personal benefits from it, and also it makes the people you're helping happy. Even if it's a boring job, you will find something good out of it, and the other people, they'll be happy as long as you're happy. If you're miserable while doing a job, the other people aren't gonna be so happy because they're gonna realize that you hate being there and that you're bored. But if you do it with a genuine interest and happiness and you smile at whoever you're helping, that's what truly makes a difference in the person's life. Some people may ask if it really matters why you did the community service, what your motive was. But the truth is that it really does matter. The motives that you have when you do community service are really translated into what the people receive. If you just do it because you need to graduate so you have to do community service, and you're really bored and mad that you're there, that's going to send a negative energy to the people, and they're not going to feel happy that they're being helped because they're being helped negatively. But if you go there and you truly want to help them, and you put a smile on your face and you send all the love you have, they'll feel that happiness and they'll truly feel loved and happy. We all have off days where we're not happy or we don't feel too good, and that's okay to happen sometimes because none of us are perfect, but we need to try to have a positive attitude most of the time. 99% of the time, even 100% of the time we should try. It may not always work like that, but we should try the best we can. Instead of going in to the community service project saying, oh, I just have to do this, I don't want to, but I have to. Instead, go into saying it, I will do it, I want to do it, I can do it. And that positive attitude will translate into the work that you do, and it will bring a positive energy to the whole project. Another message that I found that's really good in relating to this topic is titled Giving. No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave. Calvin Coolidge. We're impressed by people who manage to give of themselves, even though they seem just as busy and overwhelmed as we are. Their willingness to help others, to exert themselves to make the world a better place, shows us what individuals can do against considerable odds. When I have opportunities to give, I will take advantage of them. I will never regret having given of myself. This message is very important because it's showing us that even though we might be overwhelmed by doing a lot of things and saying we don't have time to do community service, to help others, to give our time, sometimes we just have to put a little extra effort into it and find that little bit of time, and once we finish, we'll feel so happy and relieved that we were able to do something even when we feel that we were too busy. As mentioned last week, the song Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson is a great song to listen to if you guys haven't already, because it says exactly that if we want to help the world, if we change it, we should change ourselves for the better and then help other people. If we have an amazing talent, if we have something good in us, which we all do, we should perfect that in us and then help it and spread it to others so that they can also learn it. So if you're really good at computers, you should help other people who don't know how to work computers so that they'll understand it even better. If you're great at knitting, maybe you should do that and teach a class for others so that they can learn to make their own stuff too. Everyone has their own special talent. Even if they think they don't, they do. They have that at least one special talent within them that they could perfect in themselves and then help share it to all other people. Also, the community service you do doesn't have to be just because of the graduation requirement, or it's not always going to be because of the graduation requirement. Some things you're not going to get actual community service hours for, but some things they're just to benefit yourself. Some things they won't help towards your graduation requirements, but they'll help you in a way that will help you throughout your life that you'll be so grateful for that you won't even care that you didn't get the actual hours signed off on a sheet for your graduation. If you haven't started doing any community service yet, I highly recommend that you do because you'd be surprised what you can learn when you're doing community service. You should look into organizations for teens that they have, and a lot of those organizations provide lots of community service and volunteer opportunities. In my community, I know that there is the 4-H program that's part of Cornell Cooperative Extension, and that I'm part of the Teen Action Group there, and through that we're able to do so many community service projects, such as the Ecuador care packages that we made that I was talking about before. And I know that there's the 4-H program in many counties, so you should try and see if they have that in your county and if you'd be interested in being a part of it, because they give you lots of opportunities to make a change and to help others. With the 4-H program, and I'm sure many other programs that you have locally, it helps teens all over to learn better leadership skills, communication skills, and life skills that you need throughout your life, throughout your career, for college, just everything. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be a different organization. Sometimes it can be just right in your school. Maybe there's a club that makes a change in the world, that does community service. Maybe the school is just having a food drive or a blood drive that you could help out in. Any little thing helps, and if you're part of a group that does that, you'll have even more opportunities to help others and do community service. So as we've seen today, there are many benefits to community service. In the college perspective, it makes you look like a well-rounded student, it gives you topics for your college essay, and it also sets you apart from the other students. They'll be like, wow, this person's done so much to help their community and volunteer their time at no cost. The more you do, the more they'll see that you're capable of doing and that you want to do and that you're the perfect student for their college. So doing community service is a great way to catch a college's eye and to get them interested in you. We also saw the career benefits of doing community service, which are it opens up your opportunities to explore different careers and also see if the career you like is truly what you want to do. Maybe you have a different opinion of it, or maybe you find a career that you didn't think you liked to do, but now you realize you really like to do. So doing community service can really help you throughout your life to find that perfect job for you. There's also job benefits because when you do community service, you get connected to people who work at certain companies that maybe you'd be interested in, and then maybe they'll get you an internship there, maybe they'll suggest you to someone to find that job. So doing community service can help you set up connections that will help you find the right job for you and help you find a good job in your career path that you would like. But the most important thing is that doing community service helps yourself. It helps you learn more about yourself, learn more about others. It helps you learn life lessons that you'll never forget and that will truly benefit you throughout your lives. Even if it may seem boring right now, or even maybe if you're not even thinking about college right now, the more you do right now, the better it will help you in the future, and I promise you will learn something from doing community service. It's not as dreadful as it seems. If you start doing community service, you'd be surprised how much you actually like it. The most important part is that you find a community service job that you like to do, because not everyone likes the same thing, but there are millions different types of community service projects that you could take on that really come to your interest. By doing community service, you're not only helping the other people, but you're also helping yourself to become a better person and to better educate yourself and teach you life lessons that you'll need throughout your life. I'd like to leave off now with a little last message called Giving of Ourselves. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. When a charity asks for our help, it's easy to write a check. When a friend is ill, it's easy to send a card or a gift. But it would mean a lot more to the charity and to our friend if we gave of ourselves instead of our money. It would also mean a lot more to us. We waste so much time in meaningless activities, watching TV, gossiping, fretting about things we can't change. If we could devote just part of this time to help others, we'd all be better off. I tell myself I'm too busy to volunteer or to volunteer more than I do. But if I look at my schedule carefully, I can find the time. I'd like you all to just think about that, because that really reflects back to what we've been talking about this whole time, about how even if we're busy, even if it may be boring, we can find the time to do it, and we should. And once we do it, we'll feel much better about ourselves, and it'll send a positive energy to the people around us. If you have any questions about today or about last week, you can always email me at kardecradioforteens@gmail.com. Also, if you missed the first one and you'd like to listen to it again, it is on iTunes. If you search Kardec Radio for Teens, you'll find it. So that was kardecradioforteens@gmail.com if you guys have any questions or concerns or comments that you want to say. And that's all for today. Oh, and don't forget about the gratitude challenge. Write something that you're thankful for each day. Even if it's a little thing, just reflect back on your day and think of something good that happened and thank the people who allowed that to happen to you. Well, I'm Bia, and this has been Kardec Radio for Teens. Thank you all for listening.